Good morning. Welcome back to the Red Mic. Second bite at the apple. Got to tell you, I'm probably going to stop using Facebook if they don't fix their live broadcasting issues. May just end up having to upload to Facebook, do it live on YouTube maybe. It's frustrating. I did a 9-minute Red Mic a minute ago. Not a minute, not a second of it recorded. So here we go again. Red Mic messages are leadership and life lessons I've picked up from 25 years as a public servant, 16 years as a youth football coach and scouting volunteer, and 10 years as a mediocre athlete with far more heart than actual physical ability. Today's Red Mic message: what if versus what if it fails? Janice Bryant Howroyd, the first African American woman to build and own a billion-dollar company, said, "Hire people who ask, what if we tried this, not what if it fails? The best discoveries live on the other side of expensive mistakes." I like that. I saw that quote on LinkedIn this weekend. I said, okay, yeah, it's a repetition of a theme, but people throughout history have been saying stuff like that over and over and over again. Thomas Edison, they were pointing out the number of times, the huge number of times where he attempted to invent the electric light bulb. And he said, I haven't failed. I just found 10,000 ways that it won't work. Elon Musk, whether you love him or hate him, he always pushes the same idea. If things aren't failing, you're not innovating enough. Winston Churchill had a lot of setbacks in his career, sort of like George Washington. He said, success is not final, failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. That counts. Okay. It's not the critic who counts. Thank you, Teddy Roosevelt. Look up that Teddy Roosevelt speech, too. It's the same thing. And all of these voices, what do they have in common? Whether they're in business, science, history, all of them understood this. Progress only happens if you're willing to take risks and accept the possibility of failure. What happens if you don't? What are the consequences if you don't try things, if you don't take chances? If you build a team or a culture where the dominant question is, what if this fails, instead of what if this works, you're building an environment based on fear, and that's where innovation goes to die. If you don't let your people stretch themselves, if you think, oh no, well, we can't do that, we need to have a meeting to discuss that and figure out all the ways that we're gonna, address this and all the things that could go wrong. Give me a break, man. Come on. Let your people do the things. Let them try. Let them stretch themselves. Are they going to fail sometimes? Yeah. But, man, what if they don't? And what's the consequence if you don't encourage that type of stretching? Eventually, fear is going to poison all innovation. People are going to stop trying new things. They're going to just sit back and say, okay, you don't want me to try new things. I will do exactly what you tell me to do, exactly the way you tell me to do it, over and over and over again. And then you're going to end up with people sitting in their cubes or their offices just being reactive. And what good is that? It's not any good. Things aren't going to change. The same problems are going to linger. You're leading a group of survivors, not innovators, not people who are going to bring new ideas. All they're going to focus on is protecting themselves instead of advancing the mission. When you repeat the same processes over and over and over again without even being willing to accept that maybe we could tweak this just a little bit and change it and make it just a little bit better. Because here's the secret. If you stand still, the rest of the world is going to pass you by, because there's a whole lot of people out there who are not afraid to push the outside of that envelope. Your competitors are going to move ahead. Opportunities are going to pass you by. And the people that you most want to keep around, the creative ones, the bold ones, the people who see possibilities and ask why, why, they're going to move on. They're going to leave. They're going to go somewhere else. They're going to go find a place where they can breathe and stretch and take chances and be valued for their boldness. In sports, A prevent defense in football prevents wins. Because if all you're doing is playing to not to lose, just as often as not, the team that's behind is going to keep taking chances. And while you're playing it safe, while you're playing not to lose, they're going to figure out a way to beat you. They're going to overtake you. The surest way to lose is playing it safe. Dance with the ones that brung you. Keep taking small chances. Take calculated risks. Don't be rash, but don't be afraid to keep pushing that ball forward. Because if all you're doing is playing not to lose, eventually you're gonna lose. Hire people who ask, what if we tried this? Be the leader who doesn't want to play it safe, because that's eventually just going to be another kind of failure. Encourage your people to stretch, give them room to run. And when they stumble, and they're going to, people make mistakes, things don't always work. Don't punish them. Coach them. Okay, let's talk this through. What worked? What didn't? How do we fix what didn't without breaking what didn't break? Remind them that failure is not the opposite of success. It's part of the process in getting there. Help them find the 10,000 ways that don't work, and then help them find the ways that do. The only thing worse than making mistakes is having a culture or an attitude where you're too scared, too frightened, too timid to take any chances or make any mistakes at all. And that's today's Red Mike message. I hope you found it interesting. I hope you find it helpful. Thanks for sticking with me. Again, if Facebook keeps this spinny thing up and doesn't go live when I want it to go live, I may end up going with YouTube completely. I love you guys. Thanks for being here. Happy Monday. Go out there this week. Knock the cover off the ball. I'll see you next time. And until then, life is short. Drink the bourbon.